Hey everyone. So as promised, this video is intended just to be a quick look at Academic Search Premier, why you should use it, what you'll find in there, and how to get started searching. So from the first year composition research guide, which we've been using throughout our time here, under the Finding Articles tab, Academic Search Premier is your first choice in the general databases box. And I know we've mentioned before, but just as a reminder, that a good reason to start out with Academic Search Premier is that it has articles from a lot of different subject areas in it. And also, it contains both academic articles, so the ones from scholarly journals, and then also articles from popular sources such as magazines and newspapers. But whatever kind of articles you find in here, whether they're scholarly, popular, whatever, they'll all be from credible sources, credible publications. So that means the information is reliable, you can trust the facts in there. So at least one of your sources for Project 3 has to be an academic source, and at least one has to be from a credible popular source. So if you're looking for credibility, if you're in the databases, you already can know that it's credible, so which is a big benefit of searching in here. Also, just want to reiterate that when we're in Academic Search Premier, we're only looking in here for secondary sources, so those academic and popular articles, of which you need at least one each, right, for Project 3. We are not going to be researching our Montevallo subjects in here, so if you still need more information about your Montevallo topic, whatever you chose, whether you're doing a building on campus or a person that was important in campus history, if you still need more of that kind of information, stop here, go back to the research guide, and follow the steps for finding that. But once you're ready then to look for your related secondary sources, again in the academic sources and popular sources, then we can go into Academic Search Premier for those. And how will you know what kind of source you have once you're in here? So I told you that in Academic Search Premier, we have academic articles, we have popular articles. How will you know what's what? So you'll see in a minute when we go into Academic Search Premier that the database makes it actually really easy to tell what kind you're looking at. But there's an Evaluating Sources tab on the research guide that has this handy little chart on it that kind of gives you some of the most basic and important characteristics of each kind of article. So that's going to tell you what to look for. Again, popular articles, you can see from kind of the criteria here, they're very different from scholarly articles, but they're both good sources of information and they can both be useful in your assignment. You're just going to use them for different purposes. So a scholarly article written by a researcher is going to be a lot different, right, than an article that might be from a news magazine or a newspaper. Again, both are good, both are going to be credible if you find them in the databases. You'll just kind of use them to make different points in your research profile. And just a reminder that if you choose to look outside of the databases for your popular source, especially, then you'll have to determine whether it's credible or not. But if you find it in the database, you know that it's credible because of where it came from. Okay, so with all that being said, now we're ready to take a look at Academic Search Premier. So again, from the research guide, we're going to click Academic Search Premier here. And then again, we're not going to type our campus topic into here. We're going to type whatever related kind of aspect you've come up with to search in the databases. So in the pretend example that we've been using in this tutorial, remember we're looking at Carmichael Library, and we found out that they've gotten lots of ebooks in the past few years. So if we were researching the importance of ebooks in academic libraries, I'm going to type academic libraries into the first box, and you'll see we get a good many results, right? So 18,320, too many to look through. But we know we don't just want anything about academic libraries, right? We only want things that also specifically talk about ebooks. So let's add that. Databases, just a word, are not like Google, right? So you don't want to put everything together in one box. They give you separate ones for a reason. So each term put in its own box because that makes it easier to swap things around if you need to. Okay, so now I'm down to 433. So still a lot, but a lot less than 18,000 that we started out with. The another thing to be aware of, very important for this assignment, since you have to have certain numbers of sources from different categories, right? If you scroll down and look at this box that says source types, here's where you can narrow down to just the type of source that you're looking for. So if you're looking for your academic source from a scholarly journal, you can click this box. If you want a popular source, like from a magazine or a newspaper, you can click one of those boxes. So I'm going to click magazines first. Okay. And we can see when we click on this first one here, let's open the PDF. So this is what you expect to find in a magazine, right? Colorful pictures, not super long, no long works cited at the end, but still important, relevant information if this was actually the research project that we were doing. Let me just click back. And I'm going to look at academic journals instead, just so we can see the difference. Okay, so this one's looking at power users of ebooks in academic and research libraries. So I open this one, looks super different than that magazine article we just saw, right? Way longer than 2 pages, lots of charts, graphs. If we go to the very end, there's a long work cited. So the difference between the two kinds should be really obvious. Again, you can use those little checkbox over on the left-hand side of the screen in your search results to really focus in on just the academic sources or just the popular sources. You can use the little icon in your results list to tell what kind you're looking at. But if you actually open the PDF of an article, you should be able to tell too at a glance whether or not you're looking at a scholarly publication or a popular one. Again, if you find an article, especially if it's one you didn't find through the databases and you're not 100% sure what kind you had, you can always run it past a librarian or your professor and we can help you figure out what it is. Okay, and just one more thing to be aware of in this list here as we're scrolling down through, you might notice that some of these have an option to request it through interlibrary loan, whereas other ones have the full text of the article that you can access right there. So if you find an article that we subscribe to the journal, you can open the full text, whether it's PDF, HTML, read it right then. Sometimes, though, if it's one we don't subscribe to get the full article, you'd have to request it through interlibrary loan. So that's easy to do. It doesn't cost anything extra, but it does take a little bit of time. So if you find one that sounds really good, but it's not one we subscribe to, a librarian can teach you how to request it through interlibrary loan. If you just want to see what's accessible right now, though, if you click the little full text box over here on the left, it should take out all of the ones where you would have to request it. And now you just see the ones that we have access to right now. Okay, and I'm just going to open this real quick just to point out a couple of things over in this menu on the right here. So once you find the article that you want to use for your profile, you want to make sure that you save it so you can get back to it later, right? If you click print over here, it won't print the article. It will just print what's on the screen. To print it or download the article, you want to open the PDF and print or download that. You can also just email it to yourself, right? So if you click email here, put your email address in, it'll send it and attach the PDF right to the email. That way you'll have it if you need it for later. You can get the citation for the article, which you need obviously for your works cited, right? So if you click this box, this little box pops up, scroll down to MLA. Just keep in mind, these are computer generated and sometimes the computer messes the formatting up. So you can copy and paste this, but before you submit it to your professor for grading, you want to double check it against the MLA guide or the Purdue OWL or whatever it is that you usually use to help guide your citations. But don't just copy and paste this and then walk away from it. Copy and paste, but double check the formatting. Still easier than doing it from scratch though. Okay, and one last thing to note, the permalink button over here is your friend also. So if you're not going to download it, you're not going to email it to yourself, you're not going to print it to save for later, if you just want to bookmark it or bookmark the page or send yourself the link, don't use the one up top here the way you would for a normal website. If you just want to save the link to the article, if you click on permalink over here from this menu, permalink just means permanent link right to this page. So this link in the box right here, if you copy and paste that one, you can bookmark it, you can email it, you can save it in your Word document, however you want to keep it for yourself for later, and it will take you right back to this page. So, okay, so again, that was just kind of a quick look at what's in Academic Search Premier, why it's a good one to start with, the kinds of things you'll find once you're here. But as you're searching, if you run into trouble or you have questions or you think maybe a different database might be better, definitely get in touch with one of the librarians so that we can help you find what you need. Good luck. Thanks.